Hey, Bougie Gang, happy Monday. What's going on? I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. We were live last night. If you missed it, what up? We did we did y'all's favorite Cobb County jail call, okay? On some Fulton County RICO charges. What's good, everybody? How's everybody doing? Happy Monday. We made it to another one, guys. Farah got up this morning and she said, "Mom, how long is it until winter break?" And I said, 2 weeks. And then you have a whole 2 weeks off. And she was like, "Oh, yay." I was like, "Just let's get through this week. And then next week, it's probably going to be Christmas parties, bring presents to school, cookies, cake, all that type of stuff. It's going to be next week's fun week." I'm sure they'll probably have some tests or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's the week before a holiday and holiday break. So they'll be closing, tying up some loose ends and sending the kids upon their merry way so they can have a nice solid 2 weeks. Okay. Um, ooh, I wish we were getting on a plane to go somewhere. I really do. Um, I really, really, really wish we were going somewhere. Anywho, but we're not, but that's okay. We got the dogs and we're going to have a nice time. So I got to start to kind of think of some things. I hope there's some really good Christmas releases. Because the last 2 weekends in a row we went to the movies and that was actually kind of fun. So I hope that there's some movies. I'm going to look and see if there's any plays next week. Well, I'm going to look and see if there's any plays in the next couple of days during Christmas break. So maybe we might be able to go see a play or something downtown. I don't know. Find something to do. Because I'm sure my husband's going to be off probably for maybe about a week. So that's going to be nice. So I don't know. We'll see. If you guys have any interesting Christmas plans, let me know down below. Anyway, we were live over on Love Lies and Lace Fronts. There was an interesting thing going on in Detroit. So if you're interested in hearing about that, there is a pastor who has his kids sleeping in the freezing cold outside, which I'm thoroughly disgusted. I don't even know what to say about it other than I just cannot believe it. But anywho, it's going viral. Anyway, I did hear about this particular story yesterday, the whole Jay-Z thing. Someone came in the live yesterday when we were going live on Nesto and asked, had we heard about Jay-Z? And I'd heard about it, but I didn't get all the way up into it. I did not read the whole entire document yet. I did just download, but I was reading the part that the situation with the young lady. I guess she was like 13, 12, or I don't know, girl 13 at the time. I don't know. I was like, what? Now I'm not going to say I don't believe it. Cuz that's I don't know. I can't. I'm just like, who is dropping their kid off at 13 with no tickets, no friends, no nothing to go stand outside the VMAs? I mean, I was a kid from the suburbs whose parents dropped them off in the city, and I was not. I was 15, 16 years old and stuff like that. But we had it was an event that we're going to, or we had tickets to a concert or something like that. It was just a very different time. But I remember going to see Duran Duran, okay? Girl, Duran Duran, Prince. I went to a lot of concerts and my parents dropped me off and it wasn't like a big deal, but I also wasn't standing out behind, trying to go backstage or get in people's limos or go to people's houses and stuff like that. I don't know. It kind of made me think back to that time, but I'm older than that, so my time as a teenager would have been in the late 80s and the early 90s where I probably did some stuff like, oh my God, I can't believe we made it home that night, or that cab driver was super sketchy type thing. Anyway, it's interesting. I don't know what you guys are thinking about it, but people were making the point online. Girl, I saw Duran Duran twice. One time I went with my sisters, and another time I went with friends from school. Um, Gosh, one of my first concerts that I remember going to, I went with my brother and my 2 older sisters. My little sister wasn't even born yet. We went to see Heatwave, Bohannon, and Brothers Johnson, okay? I went with my sister. Well, they're all a year apart. I went to see Shaka Khan. If you guys remember the Diana Ross concert in the park, we went both days. We went the first day where it was torrential rains, and then everyone came back the next day, where it was much better. Um, Girl, all that. The that was an event. Um, Gosh, girl, Heat Wave, Bohannon, Brothers Johnson. I can't remember someone else. Um, I went to the legendary concert in the park with Diana Ross. Yes. I think when we got close enough to really see something, it had literally just started raining because the subways were full. It was almost impossible to get there, and we got there and it started pouring, 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 raining. We ended up going back the next day, I believe it was. Um, Gosh, when I was in I went to a lot of concerts. A lot, a lot. I love the last concert I went to was Drake. We went for my birthday last year. It was amazing. It was the best. It was the absolute oh, that was so much fun. I cannot wait till Drake comes back. That was the best concert. I mean, I've got a Kool-Aid smile on my face right now. It was so good, and the just the overall vibe of the audience, like everybody who was there, it was just such a nice crowd. People were happy. It was really kind of like, I don't want to say it was the first time we'd really been out since the pandemic, but I hadn't been to anything on that scale since the pandemic. So it was really nice to get out for a adult date night. Farrah didn't come with us, even though we asked her like 4 times if she wanted to go before, even after I bought tickets, everything. Even the night of, we were like, "We'll find you a ticket. Do you want to go?" She did not want to come, so we let it. My husband was even like, "If Farrah, if you want to go, you and mommy can go, and I'll drop you guys off, and I'll be there to come pick you up." And then when we picked her up after the concert, she was like, "I should have gone," but we bought her t-shirts. We bought her the t-shirt with the girl on the cover with the gold teeth. We got her that one. Um, um anyway, but yeah, so Jay-Z allegedly was in the mist during a after VMA Awards. They're saying in 2000, so 24 years ago. I would say this that would predate the marriage of he and Beyonce. Um, I don't know how long they've been married now. I'm sure someone knows off the top of their head, but Beyonce is how old now? I don't know. He dated her when she was young. He was grown. Um, but that she wasn't a child. She wasn't 12 or 13 years old. The 13-year-old may have not looked 13. Not that that's an excuse, but she could have been trying to pass herself off for another age. I don't know, but um it's all, I don't know. Like some of these lawsuits I think have to be vetted all the way out. If in fact somebody was assaulted, no matter what their age is, they deserve to have their day in court and for the appropriate people to review it and to see if there's any damages due to them. So no matter what, It doesn't matter how old she was and if she snuck out the house or she lied to her parents or pretended to be a certain age. At the end of the day, um, this will not be the first time that you hear of musicians and like rock stars and things like that dealing with children. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this has been going on for a very long time. I think now people are trying to be more cautious backstage because back in the day, any of you guys who are like my age, maybe even a little older, a little bit younger, all of these celebrity musicians, they had all kinds of they had mothers and daughters backstage. I mean, it was a mess. Um there was all kinds of stuff going on that I'm quite sure could be prosecuted at this moment. So it's just I feel like it's rap music, it's hip hop, um Me Too movement time. I'm sure that's been talked about quite a bit. It happened in the film industry. Have we seen it happen in rock music yet? I don't know, here and there. We've seen it happen to politicians. Now is just the time. I mean, Diddy is on the hot plate and anyone surrounding Diddy is being held to account. So we know before Thanksgiving, Diddy was trying by hell or high water to get himself out of trouble, and that doesn't seem to be going very well. And things are moving right along, and it doesn't look like he's getting out of jail anytime soon. So, Rock Nation put out a statement. The way it was written, I don't know if Jay-Z wrote this himself. It says, this is on Rock Nation's Instagram. You guys may have seen this or heard this already. Let me see if I can. My lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Busbee. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir. It had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So, no, I will not give you one red penny. These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. This lawyer, who I have done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these type of theatrics. I have no idea how you have come to such a deplorable how you have I have no idea how you have come to be such a deplorable human, Mr. Busby, but I promise you, I have seen your kind many times before. I'm more than prepared to deal with your type. You claim to be a Marine. Marines are known for their valor. You have neither honor nor dignity. My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I have to sit down with our children, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of the claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their young age. It is well, look, in all fairness, your daughter is right around the same age um, as the young lady who made the allegation. If the allegation is accurate and Diddy and somebody did something to her, um, are you more concerned about the loss of innocence of your child because she has to hear about what happened potentially in the circle of people that you know and are friends with, or the young lady who was at that age once upon a time and got a train ran on her? I mean, come on. um Children should not have to endure such at their young age. It is unfair to have to try to understand inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and human spirit. My heart and support goes out to true victims in the world who have to watch how their life story is dressed in a costume for profitability by an ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. So I mean, there's nothing that really says, did I miss the part where he says the allegations are completely untrue and yada yada yada? Is he just attacking Mr. Busbee as a lawyer? Because I don't really lawyers that's opposite fraud. These allegations are heinous in nature, and I implore you to file a criminal complaint. He said file a criminal complaint. Did he say he didn't do it? I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their young ages. Unfair to have to try to understand inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and the human spirit. My heart and support goes out to the true victims who have to watch their story, how their story is dressed in a costume for profitability. So how their true story, how who have to watch the true victims in the world who have to watch their story, how their story is dressed in a costume for profitability by an ambulance chaser in in a cheap suit. So you think he's saying that Tony Busby is making more out of the allegations than what they are? That like maybe there's something there, but he's putting 20 on 10? Is that what that means? You have made a terrible error in judgment thinking that all celebrities are the same. I am not from your world. I'm a young man who He's a young man, okay, who made it out of the project of Brooklyn. We don't play these type of games. We have very strict codes of honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. Uh, Only your network of conspiracy theorists, fake physics will believe the idiotic claims you have leveled against me that if for not the seriousness surrounding harm of kids would be laughable. I look forward to showing you just how different I am. I don't okay. I was like, okay. What do you guys think about that? You know what? Okay, thank you. Young man, girl, I think he's older than me. Is he okay? Sir. Sir. Young once upon a time. And that's not a diss. We were all young once upon a time. Thank you, hon. I appreciate that. Uh, oh, thank you. That was a public statement, so they want us to read that. Um, Crazy, right? No. Look, this is what I'm gonna say. You guys know the shenanigans of the 80s, the 90s. I can't even say the 2000s, but the shenanigans of the 80s and the 90s. And you know, those of us who are like in our 50s now, just even like I can't really speak for what was going on with like the Commodores and groups like that when I was a kid, but just knowing how rock bands circulated and operated and how they had 15 and 16-year-olds, young girls dying to get to go backstage to meet some of these guys with the long hair. I'm sure it was the same thing for some of the, all, rap groups, the soul groups, I'm sure there's always been women wanting to get backstage. Okay. And we're not just picking on the girls here, but it was girls trying to get backstage and fans wanting to do whatever. And again, we know that it was I mean, look at some of the marriages. We have people of a significant age marrying, like, thinking it was cute to say, I married her when she was 15 years old. I married her when da 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 da." I mean, there were many, many, many young whips. So 20 years ago, 24 years ago, almost 25 years ago, this lady says that she got dropped off at Radio City. I find it hard to believe that parents dropped off a 13-year-old by themselves, not with a group of friends, to go to go to something they had tickets for. That is hard to believe to me, that you would just drop a 13-year off by themselves and say, like, "Go figure it out. Call me later. I'll be there to come pick you up." But girl, you never know. Um I don't know. But Jay-Z, if he wrote that letter himself, it was, I don't know. I was not impressed with the statement. I'm just going to be honest, especially since he put it on Rock Nation. Rock Nation is a company. I would think that he would have just put it on his own personal platform, because that seems to be a personal statement, and made all kinds of personal assertions on this attorney. Even if the attorney is an ambulance chaser, maybe he's not the best guy, maybe he's with the theatrics and the shits and whatever. At the end of the day, I don't know. I didn't think too much about that statement. I'm not saying, are you thinking that I'm saying a 13-year-old would get dropped off by another 13-year-old? I'm saying the what the allegation is, the story that was in the um lawsuit is that the 13-year-old got dropped off by her parents or her dad or something like that, by herself, and she wanted to get backstage at the VMAs. What I'm saying is, who's dropping off a 13-year-old not with a group of friends? Like, just like you would get dropped off at the mall and you get dropped off with some friends. I just don't see a parent dropping off a solo child by themselves to make their way around the VMAs with no ticket. That's my point. Okay, wait. She lied to her father where she was going. Her friends dropped her off. Okay. Right. We don't even do sleepovers unless at our house. My mom didn't want to hassle us feeding other people's kids. Ah. Okay. I got you. I ran the article that she said the little girl was dropped off by her friend. Oh, when I heard that, I immediately thought that she got dropped, because she said she had lied to her parents. And I was asking a 13-year-old, was she driving a friend? Oh, okay. So she got dropped off by it. Look, um, this is one of those, I mean, I don't know. If that happened to her the way she said it did, and she ended up somehow at Diddy's house, girl, she's lucky to be alive. I mean, that is a nightmare. Um, I just don't. She says she's got PTSD. Hold on a second. Let's see. On or around September 7th, 2020, plaintiff, then 13 years old, had a friend dr- drive and drop her off near. So who was a friend? You know what I mean? Like, I guess in my mind, I'm thinking 13. Your parents drop you off places. So on or around September 7th, 2000, so almost, so 24 and a half years ago, about, plaintiff, then 13, had a friend drive and drop her off at Radio City Music Hall in New York City so she could try to attend the VMA, the Video Music Awards. Attending the VMAs was on plaintiff's bucket list, and she believed she could gain entry. Plaintiff arrived at the venue and saw large crowds gathering as artists and entertainers began arriving. Plaintiff was very excited. As the event began, much of the crowd moved inside, but plaintiff, without a ticket, remained outside with others and watched the VMAs on Jumbotron. Determined to get into the VMAs or an after party, she approached several limousine drivers, parked nearby and attempted to talk her way into either. One of the limousine drivers she spoke to claimed to work for the defendant, Combs. The driver told her that Combs liked younger girls and said she fit what Diddy was looking for. And while not allowing her into the awards, the driver invited her to an after party. The driver stated that he had to drive Combs and others to the after party first, but instructed plaintiff to return to his location after the event and he would pick her up and take her to the after party. Girl, she's lucky to be alive. She could have disappeared and nobody would know where she is right now. Later that evening, plaintiff excitedly returned to the same location and waited after. Like, where did you go? During that time, the plaintiff went where, did what, how long? Like, where's the details? I'm just saying, maybe they'll save that for later. But later that evening, plaintiff excitingly returned to the same location and waited for what seemed to be to her a long time. The driver eventually returned and drove her what he described as an after party. After approximately 20 minutes, plaintiff arrived at what she believed to be a large white residence with a gated U-shaped driveway. Once inside, two men asked plaintiff to sign a document, which plaintiff did not read, but which she now believes to have been a non-disclosure agreement. She was told that she could not discuss what happened at the party. She gave the men her name and signed the form, but did not receive a copy. But would she have even had it by now? Inside the building, plaintiff recognized many celebrities as she entered what appeared to be a large room or foyer containing a large crowd. Plaintiff attempted to mingle in the crowd and talked to several of the celebrities that she recognized and to whom she had wanted to see at the VMAs. Wait staff circulated through the room carrying trays and drinks. Loud music played throughout the venue. Widespread Plaintiff observed widespread drug use, including marijuana and cocaine. After attempting to talk to numerous celebrities, plaintiff accepted a drink from one of the waitresses circulating in the crowd. The drink was a reddish yellow mixture that tasted like orange juice, cranberry juice, and something bitter. After drinking just a portion of the drink, plaintiff began to feel woozy and lightheaded, making her need to lay down. The photograph of an actual exemplary container used by Combs and or his agents employees to insert GHB into alcoholic drinks is seen below. Looking for a place to rest, plaintiff walked down what appeared to be a hallway containing several rooms off of it. She entered what appeared to be an empty bedroom so she could lie down for a moment. She did not lock the door. The room contained only a large bed with no furniture of any other kind, television or furnishing. She didn't like I'm not trying to pick this apart, but you're a young lady, a young lady. You're at someone's house you don't know. You start to feel woozy. You really know you should be at home. You just drank something. You don't know if it had alcohol in it or not. Maybe she did know if it had alcohol. I don't know. But you drank something. Now all of a sudden you feel woozy. When is it time to tell someone I don't feel well? Hey, can you get me to a phone so I can call my parents? But it just doesn't sound right that this young lady would think all of a sudden, let me go circulate around someone's house to go find a room to go lay down. Let me go rest. Let me go help myself to a bedroom to go lay down. That just doesn't make sense. Does that make sense to you guys? Hold on, let me flip the screen so y'all can see. I don't feel like that makes a lot of sense, but I could be wrong. I don't know who's having a birthday. Happy birthday, Sagittarius vibes. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. It just doesn't make sense. So I don't know. I mean, 24 years ago, I'm going to be honest, I would have a hard time telling the story too. Me personally, I would just think it'd be better to be skinny on details than try to create a narrative around, I can't really tell you what happened, but this is what happened. You know what I mean? Sometimes less is more. So I'm just saying some of this narrative is not very helpful. Anyway, soon after, so she goes into the room, no furnishings. Soon after, Combs entered the room along with the defendant, Carter, and a female celebrity, B. Plaintiff immediately recognized all these three celebrities. Combs aggressively approached the plaintiff with a crazed look in his eyes, grabbing her and said, "You are ready to party? You are ready to party. You are ready to party." Combs then threw plaintiff towards the wall, causing plaintiff to fall. Plaintiff got up and stumbled. How would they know that she was in the room? She went to go find a random room. She went to a random room. She found what appeared to be an empty bedroom so she could lay down for a moment. She did not lock the door. The room contained only a large bed with no furniture of any kind, televisions or furnishings. Soon after, Combs entered the room along with the defendant Carter and a female celebrity B. Plaintiff immediately recognized all three celebrities. Combs aggressively approached the plaintiff with a crazed look in his eyes, grabbed her and said, "You are ready to party." Combs then threw plaintiff towards the wall, causing plaintiff to fall. Plaintiff got up and stumbled, at which point Combs grabbed her again and threw her on the bed. At that point, Carter began removing plaintiff's clothes as she grew more and more disoriented. I just I'm just thinking 2000, there's plenty, and maybe look, there are people who are into kind of aggressive play. But there are plenty of women who you wouldn't have to do all that. There's women today who are willing, who would be happy to be willing participants, especially if they're going to get some pay out of it. Okay. There's definitely a lot of pay to play ladies out here. And then there's some play ladies who you wouldn't have to do all this to. I just wonder why. Um, Plaintiff was held down um, by Carter as he graped her. You can see on the screen while Combs and Celebrity B watched. After Carter finished, he stepped back towards the wall. Combs then stepped forward and graped plaintiff while Carter and Celebrity B watched. Combs then knocked plaintiff down and attempted to force plaintiff to perform oral on him. She fought back, standing up quickly, punching out at the same time, hitting Combs in the neck. Taken aback, Combs stopped his attempt. When Combs backed away in surprise, plaintiff grabbed her clothes and shoes and ran out the bedroom, holding her dress in front of her like a towel. She ran around the residence until she found the front door and was able to leave the party. Although there were other guests still at the party, no one appeared to take notice to plaintiff's distress and attempted to help her. Once outside, plaintiff put her clothes back on and left the scene in the dark. Plaintiff attempted to retrace the route taken by the limo driver. She kept running until she reached a gas station. She noticed on the way to the party a female clerk noticed her in distress and followed her to use and allowed her to use the phone. Plaintiff called her father and admitted that she had lied about her whereabouts. So she doesn't remember. I'm just wondering, and maybe that'll be in the, in the discovery where this was. Because even if you, maybe she remembers where the house was. They just didn't include this in the document, but she said she got to a gas station. She was able to kind of remember that there was a gas station. She got to the gas station. The clerk let her use the phone. The plaintiff called her father, admitted she lied about her whereabouts, and he asked him to pick her up. The plaintiff's father arrived to pick her up shortly before dawn. So I wonder if she told about that afterwards. And so I'm assuming she never told what happened. But hey, Dad, do you remember that time? Which I'm sure, like, hopefully this didn't happen again. Dad, remember that time I lied and said I was going to the VMAs and you had to come pick me up in the middle of the night somewhere in, girl, Englewood Cliffs? I was in somewhere in Long Island. I was somewhere in Jersey. I was somewhere. Where was that? Do you remember? I mean, if she was 13, it's quite possible her parents are still alive. Girl, Daddy, where did you remember? Do you remember that night? Because I would assume there would have just been one where you picked me up. After the assault, the plaintiff fell into a deep depression, which I would not doubt. Obviously, that's a scary situation. Um, I'm just wondering if maybe the omission of details is purposeful, just to, I guess, file the lawsuit and then have more details for the trial, um, or the case. I have no idea. Like, it didn't say like, oh, we were in Jersey, we were in New York, nothing. Thank you, Sagittarius vibes. I appreciate that. I hope that you're having a beautiful birthday. And thank you for gifting a friend. What a beautiful thing to do on your day, is to gift and make someone with you. Thank you, hon. Yeah. I mean, I don't doubt that something like this happened. I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire. There's a million of these stories, and young girls, women chasing after, or, being interested in rock stars and celebrities. And, back in the day, I mean, I don't know if they still call them groupies or not, but back in the day, that was a thing, and it was a thing. And yeah, I mean, all you have to do is listen to songs and hear, um remember that song with Belle Biv DeVoe, Backstage, Underage, you want to do you know, do me baby. There's so many songs where there is like an underage situation reference. This has been it's I mean, it doesn't surprise me at all. I definitely believe that something like this could happen, but damn. I mean, the fact that if someone is feeling at this point in life that now's the time for me to bring this up again, or bring this up and out and get some sort of, I don't know, some sort of justice for being done in such a way. Um, I don't know. If this is true, a 13-year-old wouldn't think something is wrong walking into a room with just a bed. An experienced person would know something isn't right. My point is not that. My point is, don't we know not to wander around people's houses? That's my point. Like, you're at a party with a bunch of adults, um and celebrities at that. So people that you recognize, they don't know you, but you're at a party with a bunch of celebrities, you're in someone's home, and you start to feel woozy. Wouldn't you say, hey, I'm feeling woozy, can you help me get to a phone or somewhere to sit down? I just wouldn't think the go-to would be, let me walk down this hallway and just help myself and walk into somebody's room. I find that to be strange, but again, the lawsuit isn't gonna have all of the details. I just think it's, girl, remember that? Backstage, underage. Listen to some of those lyrics. I mean, hello, R. Kelly. Like, come on now. It could definitely happen, and it was 20 something years ago, so it's even possible that she's sketchy on details. It doesn't mean it didn't happen. Um, I don't know how you defend something like this. You know what I mean? Like, these people have been known to have freaky parties, and these people have probably been in a lot of precarious situations, lots and lots of women. The floodgates, you don't want the floodgates to open, too bad. They're open. And if some of these men participated in partaking with these teenagers showing up backstage, they better probably start opening up their wallets because um I, to me, I would just think that this is bad. So she didn't tell her father what happened to her. I That doesn't say it. Let's see at the end of this. uh After the assault, the plaintiff fell into a deep depression, which continues to affect her every facet of her life. Plaintiff suffers from post traumatic stress disorder and a seizure disorder caused by the stress of the trauma. Plaintiff had difficulty maintaining normal relationships and lives largely withdrawn from society. Plaintiff hereby incorporates each of the foregoing paragraphs as if fully set forth herein by forcing sexual contact on the plaintiff of a minor female. Defendants Combs and Carter committed a crime of violence violated by gender under the Victims of Gender Motivated Violence Protection Act, et cetera, et cetera. Um, I'll post the whole thing for you guys. I'll give you guys the link. I got to the part where they got into the narrative of what actually happened. Um the first part talks about Bad Boy and Combs and his holdings and all of the things. Okay. So they're kind of setting the stage for the actual lawsuit, jurisdiction, all of those things, and then it gets to the actual part about like what had happened was, and that's further towards the back. That's the part that I read. The whole portion at the beginning um is right, like right here, Combs' pervasive history of sexual. So they kind of lay the groundwork that he is a known, that he has been found to be or has had numerous accusations as a, some sort of deviant and predator, and includes that information in the lawsuit. So some of it, so I read the part where about the situation that occurred. um I mean, we know Diddy has problems. At the end of the day, there's problems there. He's being sued by a lot of people. He has been egregious, and he has been out here. I feel like I've said this a lot of times. Diddy, if there's one person who has probably can be accused of having the most fun, is Diddy. Diddy has been out here having a good time for a long time, and I'm sure he's no angel. And I'm sure there's a lot of women who could come forward with this same story. So this is just it's going to just be, they just need to figure it out. Either they're going to have to open up their wallets and pay these people what they owe, because this is not, like Jay-Z said, this is not a criminal allegation. They're looking for a financial settlement. I don't know if the statute of limitations has passed for a criminal filing against Jay-Z with something like this. I don't know. We know that the event happened in New York City at Radio City Music Hall, but depending on where this party happened, it could have been somewhere in New York. It could have been somewhere out in another borough. It could have been, 15-minute drive over the bridge into New Jersey. It could have been anywhere. It could have been through the tunnel, down into, you know, another part of Jersey. It could have been across the over the bridge. It really, it could they could this could have happened anywhere. We don't really know what happened. I know young girls wanted to be with these men. When it happens, it's not as amazing as they think it would be, and especially something violent like that. She look, and in her defense, we don't even know this girl, but 13 years old. she's thinking she wants to meet celebrities, she wants to be in the midst. I don't know that this girl set out to be part of a freak off. You know what I mean? 13, I'm sure she didn't even think that far. And 13 at a cocktail party, at a party, and you have people serving drinks. She may not have even realized she was getting something with alcohol in it. She may not have. Regardless if she knew she was drinking alcohol, no matter how hard she wanted to probably pass for being older, she's 13. She's 13 years old. So, girl, very unfortunate. Where is the limo driver mentioned in this? The person who basically lined her up, you know? I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll see how this unfolds. I don't really know. I just thought it was interesting from a standpoint of I felt like the story narrative was a little thin on details. I feel like it's plausible because how else if this girl wasn't in the music industry, this girl wasn't recording at one of the studios, how did this girl come in, how did she cross paths with these two celebrities at the same time, right? Okay, the VMAs. Okay, awesome. That's an awesome premise that at that day and time Jay-Z and Diddy were together in the same situation and that it's quite possible that they were partying together. What's up, Portia? Portia's wanting to talk. It's quite possible that they were together and partying together at the VMAs almost damn 25 years ago. I would imagine that they're going to have to, like the friend that dropped them off, that dropped her off. Okay, who was the friend? I'm sure they would have to corroborate some of this story to make it believable, but it's like, my God. Um, Portia, hold on. Go ahead. Portia, you got something to say? Lambo? Lambo just gave you guys a kiss. Ew. Lambo kissed my microphone. Ew. Uh Love you too. Okay. Portia, just Nikki says hi. Bougie Gang says hi. Happy lunchtime. I can't imagine going alone because part of the fun is sharing the experience of concerts with a friend. 13, you would have to have your partner in crime with you. You know what I'm saying? Your good. Look, if you are 13 and you're with the shits like that you're getting dropped off at alternate locations and you're lying to your parents about where you're going, and nobody has to put their hand up, but some of y'all in the midst have did this, okay? Not this, but something like that, right? um you wouldn't have done that alone today in 2024. Girl, you gonna end up on a billboard, and honestly, this is all jokes aside, families planning funerals, okay? Because 2024, it's just a whole different vibe out here. Not to say it was safer, it's safer um in 2000, but in 2024, I do believe that there is a little bit more violence and people have unleashed a little bit of a little more evil, if you will. So at the end of the day, um, what someone could have gotten away with in 2000 or in 1990, um, it's just different. There's so many predators out here, and there's some people out here who just wants to experience doing certain things, um, and take advantage of the young and impressionable. And I I do find it a little weird that she went all by herself. That's a whole nother level of wild teenager. And it's unfortunate. I feel bad for her because that's a very, if her dream was to meet a bunch of celebrities and hang out with some celebrities, like I said, she's 13. I don't think that she took it in her mind that far to think that she could be great by and have a train ran on her by two celebrities and then have to watch these celebrities grow and prosper and reach all kinds of fame and fortune over the last 25 years. um how difficult and traumatic that, to be constantly reminded that these people exist and how much you may want to forget it. I don't know. The female could be anyone associated with the Shawns back then. Anybody. Yeah, I'm not taking, for instance, that the celebrity B was like, you know, Jay-Z's now wife. I didn't even mention that. But it could have been anybody back then. Absolutely. There were so many, and it may not have even been, I don't know. It could have been anybody. You were sneaking out but not to concerts. I think a lot of details are missing on purpose in the case. The case grows. Yes, I'm sure they did not, girl. You can't even send your kid for a walk down the street now to the store. Like I'm glad we don't live like in a vicinity where my kid even wants to ask me to go walk to a store because there's not a store to walk to close by. It would be at least a mile and a half in one direction and 2 miles in another. So there's no walking to the store, and we're not at a point where you're getting on a bicycle and going out to main roads and stuff like that to go pick up a Snicker. Girl, let me know. I'll drive you. You know what I mean? Or we're not walking where we are. We're not walking anywhere to go get something from a corner store. There's no corner store. It would be, like I said, a mile and a half to a gas station, maybe, and 2 miles, 2 miles up a road. Um, mm-mm. I did too, but I did that. I wasn't 12, but I was 13, 14 years old. We used to go down to Tower Records. We used to go, me and my friend, this girl, her name was Janet. Her parents actually worked in this. Well, my all of our parents worked in the city. A lot of people commute into the city every day, so it was like nothing. And we would go down to 14th Street. We would go to Tower Records. We would go to Gray's Papaya. We would walk down 14th Street, kind of part of the village, and go to all of the fun thrift shops. And I remember when I was like 13, 14, I loved La Sport Sac. La Sport Sac had a store right on, I want to say maybe it was Christopher Street. Um, and we would stop there every single time. Just, go shopping. It was nothing. It was not a big deal. And New York was, it was different. Um one could even say New York is probably safer now than it was in like 83, 84, 85. I don't know. I used to mind my business, get on the bus, get to George Washington Bridge, walk down into the train station, and take the A train all the way down. It was one train for me, and I would get off at 14th Street, get off at 14th Street, walk up the stairs, go where I wanted to go, and we would eat what we wanted to eat, buy what we wanted to buy, and I knew I needed to be home before dark. And then we would do the thing in reverse. Walk down into the subway, get your token, get on the train, and go home. Very easy. Now, I don't know that I would feel comfortable if I lived in the city. then I probably would be okay because city kids know how to get on the bus and the train and get from here to there. Um, I was probably half and half city kid. I grew up in the suburbs, but we went into the city enough that I felt comfortable navigating around. That's good. Yeah, I mean, look, and also I think what people have to realize is that there will be people are going to ask questions. It's not even so much scrutiny. I think people are going to ask questions because people want to understand. People asking questions and not just like, oh, okay, I don't think is a bad sign. I think people need to I think it needs to be okay for people to ask questions. I don't think anyone should feel like just because they're asking questions that people feel like they're being doubted as a victim. Do I believe that Diddy is some sort of sexual pervert freak and has participated in women and men doing things maybe outside of a yes? Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot to show that he's been not a good guy out here. He's got tons of lawsuits and he's got allegations out the wazoo. So I absolutely believe it. Um, this story is interesting for a couple of different reasons. I just, I wish we knew a little bit more. I'm sure if this lawsuit progresses, then we'll maybe find out more details as this lawsuit progresses. But right now, Jay-Z is maintaining his innocence. Um, sort of, because in his response to the world, it really it's almost like he feels like it's blackmail, it's outlandish. He's basically threatening them to go ahead and file a lawsuit, like not file a lawsuit, excuse me, to file criminal charges against him. He's called him a ambulance chasing attorney in a bad suit. I mean, it's like all kinds of personal attacks rather than just I vehemently um maintain my innocence upon never having met this person in my life and no such occurrence happening. Like, you really don't hear Jay-Z saying that in this letter. That's what kind of stood out to me. We read this before, but let me um make this is on Instagram on the Rock Nation page. I mean, some of the comments, okay, I mean, he dated Beyonce at 16. Girl, 95 replies. Let's see. Apparently your research is incorrect. Your research, they were in 81, Destiny's Child 97. When she was 16, she was in a video for Case Happily Ever After. She music video 1998 when she was 17. Later that year, she met Jay-Z 17. Who I mean, look, they've been married so long now, not to say it doesn't make a difference, but this isn't about Beyonce. We gonna say that too. This isn't about Beyonce. This is about the young lady that filed the lawsuit against let's see. I look forward to showing you just how different I am. Okay. I think Jay personally wrote this because this is every line that is a bar. I look forward to showing you how different I am. We support you, Jay, in your words. Okay, look, also keep in mind, I don't know. I think that they responded because, they're also preparing. Isn't Rock Nation producing the halftime show during the Super Bowl? So I don't know why he put this on his page instead of putting this on Rock Nation's page. What do you think the reasoning is that Jay-Z put his comment out on the Rock Nation page. Is Tony Busby coming after Rock Nation? Why wouldn't he put it on his own personal page? Maybe he doesn't have a personal page, but why put it on Rock Nation? Let me look and see if he also copied and pasted this on his own personal page. Like, I'm sure Beyonce didn't post it. I'm sure she didn't post him a response. Let's see, Jay-Z. Uh okay, his page, if this is his page, I'm assuming this is his page, has I guess his page is the Rock Nation page. One post. Okay. It's got one post on it and it refers back to the it's got one post on it and I guess the Rock Nation is his. Okay. Well, I guess that is his one and only page. Rock Nation is. He has a personal page. It has like right up under 1 million followers, but he references Rock Nation on there. So he doesn't, it's Rock Nation is probably like his page. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Okay. What do y'all think? Okay, so they just posted. I guess it's like, okay, back to business. I don't know. Clearly, I said what I said, and that's it. I'm sure this is not a good thing. You know, Rock Nation is more than just Jay-Z. Jay-Z has a lot going on, and I'm sure he doesn't like this. But why not? Why? I don't know. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? Why bring it to Rock Nation? If Tony Busby did he mention Rock? Let's see what he says about parties. He talks about Mr. Combs. Let's see what he says about Mr. Carter. I feel like Sean Carter. Okay, defendant Sean Carter, who is a male who, on information and belief, maintains residence in New York and Los Angeles. Do, 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 do. Do. He doesn't even mention Rock Nation. Okay. Defendant is more commonly known. His industry name is Jay-Z. Carter is identified in plaintiff's original complaint as Celebrity A. Prior to the filing of this amended complaint, Carter received a letter from plaintiff's counsel requesting a mediation to resolve this matter. Upon present information and belief, Jay-Z responded and said, letter by not only filing an utterly frivolous lawsuit, but by also orchestrating a conspiracy of harassment, bullying, and intimidation against plaintiffs' lawyers and their families, employees, and former associates is an attempt to silence plaintiff from naming Jay-Z herein. This effort was meant to scare plaintiff and to discredit her counsel. This effort failed. Indeed, plaintiff chose to file his amendment as a result of the egregious conduct perpetuated by Carter. Each of Combs corporations aided and abetted Combs in committing the unlawful sexual violence. They do not even mention Rock Nation in here, but I feel like, you know how people say, well, why did you bring it to YouTube or why did you bring it to Facebook? Why did Jay-Z even though Rock Nation is his page, Rock Nation is his company. To me, I feel like putting the announcement on the Rock Nation page makes it now a company thing. Why would you do that? Okay, that's true, but why would you, that's just my opinion. Why would you put that on your company page. Um, Look, lawyers these days, if they are if Tony Busbee is the ambulance chasing attorney that Jay-Z says he is, then I don't know. That to me, that would be adding a little more fuel to the fire. What was Solange yelling at Jay-Z about in the elevator with Beyonce back in 2014? Okay, Nicholas. Okay. Interesting, right? I feel like this is an interesting development. Is it now Jay-Z's turn? Are more people coming out of the bushes? Is you guys know that there's that young man who says that Jay-Z is his father. Jay-Z has refused to take a DNA test. Is someone else going to start getting some heat out here? Is because Diddy gets a lot of heat for almost everybody. Is it Jay-Z's turn now? Like, is it going to be more? Because remember when it was like Epstein, Weinstein, it was all of the Hollywood actors with the sexual harassment. People got taken out, taken down. Is Diddy like the only sacrificial sexual harassment, sexual deviant person that they're coming for, or are there other sexual deviants in Hollywood that their time is coming next? Like now that Jay-Z has actually been called out and it's on some come out, is it, what's going on here? You guys tell me. I don't know. Girl, 24 is going out with a bang, okay? Yeah, there's others. People are getting called out. It's time. I'm not saying it's time. Don't take it that I'm not saying it's time for them to be called out. I'm asking Bougie Gang, what is your opinion? Are they getting ready to bring them out? Bring them out. Okay. Girl. We know there's a lot of them out there. We know there is. Okay. I believe that could a 13-year-old girl slip through security, slip through the cracks, get in front of a driver, a security, a handler, and make her way to a celebrity party? I'm sure it's happening on this globe right now. It's happening probably in 10 different places. I believe that what happened to that girl could definitely have happened. I'm going to just say, I don't know that it happened exactly the way that she was remembering it. Maybe it did. I don't know. It could definitely happen, especially a young, not even just young, but an attractive lady, attractive woman of a questionable age, and they're not really sure. Um, I don't know that some rock stars care how old you are. You know what I mean? If you're willing and able and want to, the exposure commence. Oh, wow. Mm. Yeah, I'm sure we'll never know. We might not ever know what the situation was on the elevator. Oh, wow. I hope that you're enjoying your vacation. Beautiful. I'm sure Ghana is absolutely amazing. I hope that you enjoy your trip and get lots of rest and see lots of sights and eat amazing food. I'm sure it's going to be awesome. Um, Yeah. I think some, I think we talked about this question before, but I just think that I think the fantasy of being able to be in the midst of some of these celebrities is different from what the reality will pan out to be. Also, in the event you're at a party with a bunch of celebrities and people are like, "Well, who are you?" Like, or "Who are you here with?" And they just find out that you're like a teen who is just there because you happen to, slip in, someone got you in. Okay, okay. Happy 50th birthday. What a special birthday. Happy 50th birthday, Sagittarius vibes. I hope that you enjoy. Unfortunate but true. Maybe Solange will bring it out if other things come out. Well, but her sister, it's just her and her sister. You don't tell sister secrets. I mean, it's not telling on Jay-Z, it's telling your sister's secrets, you know what I mean? I don't think we'll ever know. If I knew something, if I only knew something and that would affect my sister, I would never tell it, you know? Gosh, when was the elevator incident? How long ago was that? It feels like that was a long time ago, but uh let's see. Solange elevator incident. Damn. 2014? Okay. 10 years has flown by. Anyway, guys, as more stuff comes up and out, we'll talk about it. You guys already know that Diddy, his lawyers, and the US attorneys are filing like several times throughout the day. Um, Let me see what's on here. Last thing I saw, Damian Williams was asking for more time to go through and respond regarding the filter team and all of the things that happened when they went into Diddy's cell and took photos of stuff. I guess they're still kind of going through that. Um they do a lot with this trial. Let's see. Is there anything else today? Okay, no. Okay. I'm still getting caught up. I kind of know what's going on, but I haven't read everything. They file a lot throughout the week. There's lots and lots to read. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. I hope you enjoyed lunch today. I think I'm gonna be live later, and someone said 2014. Yes. Was that even worth saying? We already know Sonya has no loyalty for her family. Sonya has no family loyalty. I don't know which one of her sisters she feels any loyalty to, but considering that she doesn't like women, it doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, girl, I feel like Sonya is a very disloyal woman, and I don't know that family means much to her. But yeah, I look, I'm gonna just my sister's secrets are my secrets too. You know what I mean? Like if I was entrusted with something that only I know or I was only privileged to know, I will be that person that only knows. So happy birthday to our Sagittarius friends, okay? You guys, I'll be back. If there's something out there that you want me to talk about, let me know. I am going to come back. I do want to react to a video. And then also, you guys were asking me about Sonya over there at Big Jeff's. we did talk about what happened with Big Jeff. Um, Big Jeff's podcast, Nothing But the Truth. We went over there, and I'm gonna be honest, Sonya and them, it was exactly what you would expect. Sonya talking in circles, Sonya not giving any additional information, nothing new was learned at all. And we talked about it in members. If you guys want me to talk about it, we will. Um, don't expect anything. I mean, I think it's we can just go, we probably could make it through in about 10 minutes because we talked about it at length in members. So if you are curious about it and you're a member, go right on ahead in there. If you've been considering membership, go right on in there. We did about a 2-hour live and broke it all the way down. So if you want to see that, then go ahead and just jump right on in there and you'll have that. Otherwise, we can talk about it briefly. I just don't think that there's that much there. We talked a long time about it, not because of its substance, but the opposite of substance, the lack thereof, the substance. Let's see. Okay, she was trying to get more exposure. Okay, girl, the audience feedback didn't seem to be in her favor. That coat should be a crime. Girl, anybody, yeah. Okay, guys, let me shut this down. Let me see what time is it. Okay. Um, I thought she didn't like YouTube and bloggers. She's situational. She is very much situational, what I mean by that is on some whichever way the wind blows. Okay, that's Sonya. All right, let's shut this down. Maybe I'll come right back. We'll do another live. I want to do a reaction to another video. So give me just a minute and I'll be right back. I'm going to shut this one down, leave this one, Jay-Z and Sean Combs, and we'll come back and do another quick reaction. Okay. All right. I'll see you guys in a minute or two. Bye, guys.